Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do some cutting. So a while back with our original laser, the Orther, we wanted to try cutting. It didn't do very well, didn't cut all the way through, super slow, pain in the butt. Tried the same thing later on with the K40, a lot better, small form factor, so we couldn't ever cut anything even this big. There just wasn't enough room, we'd have to do it in a bunch of sections. So today I'm going to skip all the other stuff that I know I need to do, ramp test, all of that kind of stuff. I don't care, I want to see if it'll cut well, and we're going to figure that out. So we're going to start with a kerf test. I've got the original one that I did. If that's not close enough, we'll shrink down the sizes, but we're going to do that, and then we will try to cut one of these out and see if it works. Alright, I've sent the file to it, but let me show you again how you do it. You come in here, file, we pick box test, that's one we name, it's showing the actual cuts. I've adjusted the speed from what it used to be to now to accommodate different laser, much faster laser, stronger laser, so I've sped it up and slowed down the power. Flip that, I've sped it up and I've lowered the power. So we're gonna get that cut and see how it goes. So we'll auto focus it and then turn it on. Don't forget your eyeglasses, and let's see how she does. Alright, auto focus is done, and now we're gonna hit run and see how she does. Alright, didn't make you guys sit through all of that. Learned a few different things. It's been like 2 hours. But, you know, magic of just cutting that out. You won't have to tell. Now you'll see it actually worked. They all fell out. But up here you can see... Alright, so you can see none of this worked. It didn't cut through at all. I've tried it on both sides. Nothing coming through at all. So I had this set at what the book, well actually a little slower than what the book said, at 10 millimeters a second, and I started at 50% power. That should have been GOPS. And very slow so that it could cut. And this is what it did. It never cut through. I turned the percentage up to 60. Didn't do anything. Went to 70. And this is just doing second and third passes. 80, 90. Even did a few at 100. Will not cut through. So we know, or we knew from before running the power scale, that it cuts through at like, here, 60, right? It's cutting through at 60, and this is going something like 60 millimeters a second. So we know it should cut through. Don't know what the problem was. Ended up on this piece also testing out some squares. Just put a square in there to see what it would do. And this is at 20 millimeters a second at 50%. And it just almost fully, very cleanly cuts through. So why is the problem? Why doesn't it work slower? I don't know. But it certainly works at 20, and it cuts really great. So what I went ahead and did was turn this up to 20, did 60%, and then voila, it cuts. I don't know why. I don't know if it's something in here where it just doesn't give enough power when it's going too slow. Maybe. But the book was wrong. So 20% or 20 millimeters a second and 60%, just like a charm. Cuts great. I did a second pass just because I didn't want to do any pushing through. Like this, you can kind of see it didn't fully finish down at the bottom. The second pass, they all fell out because this board is a little bit warped. Now this is the kerf that worked for the old machine, so I don't know if it's going to work for this one, but at the very least we can look and see, because we finally have it cut out. It looks like 70s, a little small, yeah, 60s smaller. Do we even have anything smaller than that? I doubt it. So we might need to, ooh, 1.2 or 0.12 starts to feel pretty good. Let's see if, yep, that is too tight. So let's see about 11. Ooh, 11 feels really good. That snaps together very well. Let's see what 10 feels like, or just 1. Yeah, that feels pretty good. So really, I think 11, 10 or 11 feels the best on this one so far. I like 11. So that's going to be what the kerf we do. And now I can get in and set up the program for this with the proper kerf, and we'll cut it out and see how it fits. Alright, I have adjusted the program in Lightburn, and I've got a new board in here. I've got it in place. Instead of running it from the controller this time, I'm actually going to run it straight from the computer like we used to. See how that works. So we'll get it framed up and we'll send it. Alright, it has zeroed out. We're going to hit frame, and let's see what it does. Alright, that looks great. Let's cut it. That took 6.5 minutes. That's awesome. So much faster than anything we could have done before on any of the other machines. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off since we're done. And we can open it up. Just gonna kind of touch it and see if it's cut through. Looks cut through. Hard to tell because it's a pretty flat piece, but everything, you can just kind of see them moving. So, looks good. Let's get it out. Yep, definitely cut through. Man, this honeycomb, the wood gets stuck on it so bad, it's very hard to get it out afterwards. So, all right. Man, that is so much better than last time we did it. When we did, this is where our sticking point was, because it was not cutting fully through. Like you can see, some of these are still stuck and they're not spreading out like they need to. This looks like it's gonna be awesome. Super well done. Yep, those all popped right out as well. Best I remember when we did this, we also had a bit of trouble actually getting them to clip together. We were using a mallet, right? Yeah. So let's see how well this will go together this time. I think I might try by putting these two together first. Definitely snug. Might have to adjust that curve even just a step more, but we know right where it's going to be at, or at least pretty close to it. Yeah, all this is going to be tight. Most likely the next one, I'll take it down even a notch more, maybe go just with the 0.1 instead of the 0.11. Super easy. That was the part that I was a little worried about, how it would stretch, and it stretches super easy. I'm just gonna get everything in place and then I'll be able to just kind of hammer it in. I'll try maybe one at a time. Definitely need to adjust the curve so that this fits better. That's going in a little smoother. Let's get this side in as well. Just trying to line up the bottom and then we'll lightly hammer that in place. Once we get it started, we can kind of flip it over so we can see what we're doing. Alright, got it together and it worked great. The cutting's awesome, the fitment, a little snug, that's fine. Adjust the curve to what you need. It could be the height of it, it could be all kinds of things. So, but they went together. I was afraid to break it, so I was quite, not hitting it very hard with the hammer, but fits great, looks good, very smooth. Excited that it worked. So that is what we did. I did 20 millimeters a second at 50%. No, 60%, sorry. 60% power, 20 millimeters a second, and this is 3 millimeter plywood. Always keep in mind, you could need different settings. The glue that they use, the layers in here can make it really bad, but that's what this particular wood is needing to cut. Alright guys, that is all for this week. Flight tray done. Needs a slight adjustment or two, but that's fine. We can always do that later. Trial and error, that's why we're using the cheap plywood. I do have nice walnut MDF plywood that is going to look awesome when stuff's cut out of it, but I'm saving it for when, now that prototypes are working and lasers cutting, I can break that stuff out. So, what do you guys like? Bourbon, scotch, either one? Obviously this would be more of a have my wife pour for and then pick what I like, but tonight I get to pick and I'm going, let's go with this one. So cheers guys, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.